Yeah.
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 Okay. Oh man, that was all the energy. That was everything that I had.
It's all gone now.
It's all gone. Show's over. Stars
Yeah.
that. See you next week.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I got this.
You just do a line.
I was just trying to clear my nose a little bit. I have like 375 miles of I-5 dirt in my nose.
Ugh.
Mm-hmm. I drove,
Ugh.
so
Ugh.
yeah. Well, let's start the show like that. There we go. So this is Don't Get Your Hopes Up. Welcome everybody. My name is Mike B, aka Fony, and this is Josh Lore, aka I messed that up.
Josh Lore, aka Alan.
Alan.
Hi.
This is our E3 special.
Yes. By special, we mean shorter than usual.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the way that we do specials on Don't Get Your Hopes Up.
Because I pretty much got back like 2 hours ago, and
drove.
I drove. Yeah, which it's not a terrible drive, but all in all, like you stopped
5 or 6 hours, right?
Yeah, like so
At
it
least.
took us 5.5 hours to drive down there. But we only stopped for gas, and that was it. Like no food or anything. It took us 7 hours to come back because of stopping for gas and food and the traffic leaving LA. So even though we timed it pretty good leaving, it was still. I mean, it's still LA.
Yeah. LA traffic is the actual worst. It took when I went up there on Thursday. It took me an hour to get up there and an hour and a half to get back.
Yeah. Man.
And I live like 30 miles from E3.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was there Monday through today, Friday. Wait, today's Friday. Yeah, it's Friday. We have. I mean, a lot of stuff happened, man. Like everybody was the general consensus has pretty much been that this is like the best E3 we've had in a long time.
Yeah, seriously. Like everybody had just ridiculous announcements. Like just crazy shit. Like watching the was it the Square? No, it was the PlayStation announcement where they're like blah blah blah, yeah, and people are like, oh my god, it's gonna be the Last Guardian. Oh man, it's the Last Guardian. Oh, it's so great. Finally they announced the Last Guardian. Like everybody, like I was watching the YouTube stream, and like they had a few people, I don't remember exactly who it was they had on there, but one of them was like, yeah, I'm hoping that we finally see some Last Guardian out of this thing. And they're like, all right, well, we're going over to the thing. And they screwed around with a bunch of stuff for a little while. And then they were like, all right, the Last Guardian. Everyone was like, it's actually the Last Guardian. This is the best presentation ever. And then like the very next thing they were like, oh yeah, also Final Fantasy VII HD remake. What's up? And everyone was like,
everybody lost it.
Yeah.
With that, it's like their announcement of Final Fantasy VII remake was like on par in terms of like freak out mode, right? Freak out levels. As Xbox's backwards compatibility.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
like,
man.
The difference being Xbox's backwards compatibility is, hey, now you can play all those games that you already own. Whereas Final Fantasy VII HD Remake is like, hey, now you can buy this game again.
Everyone's like, yay!
Yeah. And then, like, so, like, this is happening, and people are, like, freaking out on Twitter and everything, and I'm just, like, I was at work at the time, so I'm, like, just trying to sort of keep tabs on Twitter, and, like, I have the stream on in the background while I'm working on videos and stuff, and I just, like, glance over at Twitter, and I see someone tweet, like, my dream PlayStation announcement checklist, and it's like checkbox number 1, The Last Guardian, checkbox number 2, Final Fantasy VII Remake, and then like there was an open checkbox for Shenmue 3, and then they were like, oh, and also Shenmue 3. That was weird though. Like, so how do you feel about the Shenmue 3 Kickstarter? Because, I mean, it's already funded. It was funded in like 5 minutes or something stupid like that.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna look up and see.
It's at 3.3 million.
Yeah. But it's kind of like, so you're at the PlayStation announcement. Sony's doing their Sony like announcement. I forget what the actual term for the like press conference thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, "Oh, Shenmue 3, you should kickstart it so that you can have this game." And everybody immediately like the initial reaction was, "Oh my god, Shenmue 3." And then, "Wait, what? What? Why do you need to kickstart this?" If it's important enough for it to be part of your freaking press conference. Of your press conference,
yeah.
Like, why don't you just back it?
Yeah, exactly. It's especially given how much money they spend for those conferences, you know?
Yeah,
like we're talking hundreds of thousands, maybe even like $1 million, like depending on where they're holding it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so the actual rewards, the backer plans or whatever, the first one is $5, right? And only 1,600 people did that.
Yeah.
Basically, and the next step up is get a digital copy of the game.
Yeah.
So,
which is only $29, by the way, which is actually like for a game like Shenmue 3, $30 is a pretty damn good price.
Yep. And this is they basically just use Kickstarter to set up pre-orders for the game.
Yeah, pretty much.
We don't know like how far along into development they are with the game. But still, it's just like I think it's tacky to present it in such a way. However, what better like platform to promote your Kickstarter than on the PlayStation's main show? Like that's and it shows. I mean, they're up to $3.3 million with a goal of $2 million.
Yeah. I mean, if you're Yu Suzuki and you're trying to make Shenmue 3 and Sony's like, "Hey, you want to come into our press conference and talk about it?" You're like, "Yes." This is obvious. Why did you even bother asking? Which slot am I in? You have to have known I was going to say yes. But yeah, it's a little bit weird that they're like using their press conference to announce a Kickstarter. But hey, I guess the world gets Shenmue 3 out of it, so
and everybody's happy.
There's only so much you can complain about that.
Yeah, exactly. If you wanted it, then you'll pre-order it through Kickstarter.
Yeah.
And then in a year and a half, when you've completely forgotten about the game, you'll get a digital copy of it.
Dude, I've been having that problem with was that like Wing Commander MMO thing that had like the ridiculously massive Kickstarter that I backed ages ago, and now I can't even remember the name of the game by Robert Space Industries. They email me all the time.
Oh God, yes. Star Citizen.
Star Citizen, yeah. I've apparently been able to play that for like a year. I just never have. Because I backed it, and like when I backed it because I was like, "Oh, this is cool," and it was when I was still like freelance and just doing YouTube videos and stuff. I was like, "Oh, this will be good. This will be a good thing for me to stream at some point, so that people can hang out and I can show them this new game. And I want to back this so that I get it on the ground floor and I get it as soon as possible." I've now worked at Blizzard for 2 years, so that gives an idea of how long it's been since I backed this thing. And they just keep emailing me. And like I got an email the other day that was like, "Hey, we noticed that you've never played our game." I'm like, I mean, yes, I've never played your game, but also I was interested in it a long time ago, and I'm no longer really that interested.
Mm-hmm.
The hype has died out on that game to the point that I could play it for free, and I'm not going to.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Wait. Maybe I shouldn't have done this.
Back Star Citizen?
Maybe no. Maybe I shouldn't have gone to see what the status is of some of my backed projects. I have like 50 backed projects here.
Oh God.
And there's quite a few here that I definitely do not have in my hands. Like I have A Hat in Time here. That's supposed to get the game plus an exclusive hat. Estimated delivery February 2014.
Oh, that's good.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that I probably didn't get that. I don't know
Yeah.
what I already know what the status is on the project. It's probably like released, honestly, at this point. I haven't checked on that in a long time. Patent time, and I don't see it on Steam or anything else. Okay, well, whatever. I'll check it later. Oh, green light. Yeah, that doesn't count. 2012. So damn. Now I have to go through all this. Bear Simulator. Jesus. Yeah, of course I just gotta say November 2014. Man, I could probably play that right now. Bear Simulator. Anyways.
I haven't actually backed a whole ton of stuff. I backed this game called Distance, which I think actually you were how I found out about that.
Mm-hmm. The crazy, like, nice, good-looking racing game.
Estimated delivery August 2013. I've never played it.
I have gotten mine.
Yeah, I know that I could get like. The problem here is that I forget about things that I back. Not that they're not delivering. And Exploding Kittens is apparently the only thing that I've backed, which surprises me because I'm sure that I've backed more stuff than this. But maybe it was like through Indiegogo or something. The other stuff that I've backed. But yeah, Exploding Kittens I should get soon.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Maybe down there in July we could play.
Oh yeah, we totally should. Wait, when are you down here in July?
Down there for VidCon.
Oh.
Whenever that is. Let's see, VidCon.
Is that in LA or is it in
July 23rd, 20? It's in Anaheim.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah,
that's
so
much
pretty
closer
close to you.
Yeah. We should totally play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I'm there again for something else I forget. But yeah, it's so Kickstarter. So E3.
Yeah, oh yes. E3. We went to E3. So yeah, there was the Kickstarter for Shenmue 3, and that was where we left off most recently. Let's see, what else did people announce? There's the ridiculous Xbox controller,
which we got to see.
We did, and I'm so glad that I got to put my hands on it to know that I have zero interest in purchasing this thing. Like if it was 80 or $90, I'd consider it. But like, okay, sure, it's an Xbox One controller. Personally, I don't really like the Xbone controller very much. I preferred the 360 controller. And in terms of next gen, I prefer the PS4 controller to the Xbone controller.
Oh wow.
It just feels bulky and weird to me. I don't really like it that much.
Okay.
So my thought was, well, if this is a controller that is nicer, it's less bulky and blah blah blah, then that would be nice. But no, it's not. It's the same size. You can make it slightly bigger, and it has the weird like under the back paddles for extra buttons, which I don't even know what you would use those for, because nobody's going to make a game designed to have these extra 2 buttons. So it's just going to be like another way to push X and Y or something.
Paddle shifting.
Yeah, maybe.
That's it. And here's the thing. If you're going to spend $150 for paddle shifters, buy a wheel.
Yeah, exactly. If you're going to spend this much money on a peripheral, get like a nice custom peripheral that's going to go well. Like if you especially because they also announced that the Oculus is coming to the Xbone. So if you like, the Oculus is coming and you're probably going to get one because really it's the Oculus. Everybody's going to get one. Unless they do something stupid like it's $700 or something, but I doubt that. But yeah, like if you're especially if you're planning to get an Oculus for the Xbone, you will want like a driving wheel in your hand to help fill that immersion. You're gonna want like a controller that, as much as possible, you're going to not want to feel like you're looking around and you're running around out like playing Call of Duty or something, or driving a car around and feel like you're holding onto an Xbox controller. So yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of that.
No, and now I'm looking at wheels to buy so that I can $400. That's not happening. God dang it! I used to own one of these. Why did I get rid of it? I think I sold it for like nothing too. Damn it! I fucked up.
Way to go.
Yep.
You've ruined everything.
I have. Fallout.
Yeah,
that was a pretty big deal for a lot of people.
Yeah.
We talked about Fallout, I think, the last episode, and I haven't really logged any notable amount of time in any of the games, and you chastised me for it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're
Rightfully
wrong.
so. There's a lot of, I mean, there's a lot of games out there that I haven't played that are super popular, so it's gonna happen, right? But
Yeah, but only
is,
one of those is Fallout.
you're right. Yeah, I was gonna say, but this is a game that does feel like it could be right up my alley. I just haven't devoted the time to it, and so what's gonna get me into the Fallout series, probably starting with like Fallout New Vegas or Fallout 3. I'm not sure which. Is fucking Fallout Shelter. Have you played it?
Yeah, I've been trying to. My only iOS device is an OG iPad mini. And it crashes all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Like I cannot I want to play it, and I've enjoyed the little bits of playing it that I've done. But it crashes so much. So I like, and it takes forever to load up too, because like this iPad, like it's a 2.5-year-old iPad, like it's ancient.
Yeah, I have the exact
It might
same
as
one,
well
yeah.
have been used by the dinosaurs.
Okay, in Apple terms, it's like 6 generations old, especially with iPads, with all the different variations they had of them.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't even have a Retina display.
What?
Yeah. So it crashes all the time, but it looks really fun, and I want to play it. Like I'm considering buying a new iPad so that I can play Fallout Shelter.
It is such a good game. It's got its flaws for sure that really start to rear its head after a while, but it hasn't stopped me from playing it all the time.
Yeah, I've heard that it gets kind of shallow.
Yeah, I'm at the point now where it's pretty shallow. And I only have, your maximum is 200 dwellers, right?
Something like that, yeah.
And I'm at like 30 something, and I'm already just like, okay, like it's starting to get pretty simple. Like, everything is kind of, and you know, it's like what ends up really like hurting you is when you basically put a bunch of people in the room and have them start banging and popping out kids. Like once those kids hit, they immediately start consuming tons of resources.
Yeah.
And if you're not prepared for that, then you end up having to play a lot of catch up, and everyone gets unhappy, and then that's pretty much it. So
yeah, I had that problem. I think in my game at the moment, everybody's happiness level is at like 10%. Because I done fucked up. I'm not a very good overseer.
But the thing is like what disappoints me is there's only so many different things that can happen to you, right? Like in terms of like your shelter, you can either have like 3 raiders with swords come over. You can a room will spontaneously combust or catch fire, or you'll have the radioactive roaches. Like that's it. Like I was thinking that wouldn't it be great if like I don't know some kind of like T virus or something starts spreading and people start turning into like weird like twisted zombies. I don't know, like anything other than roaches or small kitchen fires.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
I mean, in fairness, the game has basically been created as a free advertisement for Fallout to do more or less exactly what it's doing right now, which is to get you to go, man, this Fallout game is really fun, but I wish there was more to it.
Yeah, I should probably just go play the PC version.
Yeah.
Just so I can see what I'm missing.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess mission fucking accomplished there. I was sad that Fallout 4 didn't appear to be playable at E3.
No, it was not.
It's surprising to me considering the
Not even
November
behind closed
release date.
doors.
Yeah, like
From what I found.
yeah, like you would think that. I mean, it is Bethesda, so considering that the games that they launch are usually buggy messes, I can only imagine what a game 6 months before launch is. But still,
Yeah.
it's 5 months to launch, but still, like it would, considering that they sort of surprised the entire universe by being like, oh hey, here's this game that you have for free today, and here, like I was sitting at I was playing Trials at the time, playing Trials Fusion, and like I had the stream up on a second monitor. And they're like, and you can play this today. And I literally just got up and left, like, in the middle of this track I was on to go find my iPad.
It's like you were programmed. Like you were indoctrinated as a child, and there was a keyword that would basically trigger this event.
Yeah, which was play Fallout right now.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
which is
pretty-
surprising considering that I have Fallout and I still haven't ever beaten Fallout 3 or New Vegas. I've played them a lot, but I have this problem with open world games where I get lost in all the side stuff, and then by the time I
Yep.
get back around to doing the main mission, I've forgotten what I was doing.
I'm in the same boat. That's me in
Yeah.
every GTA game except for GTA 3.
Yeah, I've never finished a Grand Theft Auto. I've never finished an Elder Scrolls. Like, these are all games that I love, and I will play the hell out of every single one of them that releases, except Grand Theft Auto 5. For some reason, I've really only ever done the multiplayer in that. Mostly because because I have it for my 360, and like it just looked like crap. So at some point, I need to get the PS4 version of it. But yeah, Fallout 4.
Yep, Fallout 4.
Yeah, I liked their talking robot thing that they had. Their
Yeah.
Mr. Handy.
Yeah, very clever dialogue.
It was telling you mama jokes at one point, which I thought was pretty good.
Yeah, it's so yeah, Doom. Doom, so happy. Gallery shooter. That's all it is. They skipped they didn't keep running with the horror first person shooter, which I'm so happy that they decided to walk away from that, because that's not what Doom is. But it seems a lot of people were upset or disappointed that it was just a gallery shooter. It's
Yeah, I can imagine if you're one of the 5 people that really liked Doom 3 and you were just all about Doom 3. I guess there's actually a fairly vibrant modding community for Doom 3 now at this point.
Yeah.
But like the base game, you were someone who's like, "Oh, Doom 3, it's so good. I love that I can't have a flashlight and shoot at the same time. This is the best. I'm shooting in the darkness. I love this." If you're that sort of broken, then I can see why you would be really upset that Doom 4 is not just as shitty.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for the rest of us, like the people who grew up playing Doom and Doom 2, like getting back to the sort of like, yeah, you just run around and shoot fucking demons.
Yeah.
And you move. Like, I really liked that they kept saying things like the whole point is that you move really fast, because that's how it always was in Doom. Like, especially coming off of like the Wolfenstein games. And even like Duke Nukem 3D, like playing Doom, you moved fast around the world.
Oh yeah.
And it was like, that was a big part of what made it so fun, is because you're just hauling ass around everywhere, shooting demons with whatever's handy. And it was really cool. So I'm pleased. I don't know that I'm gonna play Doom 4, but I'm glad, just from a academic perspective, if nothing else, to see that it's still okay to make games like that.
Yeah. An academic perspective.
Yeah. In my academy of what games are okay to make.
God.
What else was there?
Nintendo's whole Nintendo World Championship thing was fantastic.
I didn't really catch like any of that.
They introduced a new 3DS game called Blast Ball, and I totally like over freaked out about it, because I'm never gonna buy a 3DS, and it seemed like such a fun game. It seemed like what is that fucking game we used to play? Hacksball.
Okay.
It's just super simple. There's like 3 of you on either side or whatever, X number of you on either side, and you basically just try to pound that thing through into the goal, and that's it. But there's a couple of like modifications, like whenever you make a goal, the goal gets smaller and everything. I could see that game being super fun on like PC, because I used to play a mod for UT that was pretty popular called Deathball. I even had a team, and we had a league and all that stuff, and we would do competitions and whatnot. And that was like a whole lot of fun. But I don't know if that's something that'll be successful on like 3DS. But probably the best thing to come out the Nintendo World Championship, and just Nintendo in general, was, well, Yarn Yoshi was actually kind of cool too. Yoshi's Woolly World. And Star Fox, honestly, that was pretty good too, if I'm being honest. And the new Zelda was actually all right. Okay, and and then Nintendo Mario Maker. Damn.
Yeah, you were telling me about that.
Yeah, that was that game. I got to play it on the floor, and it was so cool just to basically you use the Wii U tablets to and the stylus to basically just like you have a couple palettes that you could do drop down menus, and you could just click on what you want, and then just boop, draw it on the grid, and then you scroll over to the next, just scroll over to the side down the level, and just boop, draw some more stuff. And I was just like, okay, thwomp, 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 thwomp. And then at the end, bullet bill, like a stack of them. And then it's like, Goomba, Goombas all over the place. And it was just, that was it. And that's all I did. And I just jumped in the match, and I just started running, and it was actually relatively challenging. And whenever you die, it basically takes you to the editor right at that point, like immediately converts to editing, right? So you die, and then it goes to edit mode. And it's designed so that if you can't get past that part, then maybe you want to change it essentially. But yeah, you can. It's not like, oh, so what? You could just make like a Mario level. It's like, no, you can mod the individual pieces by associating it with other things. So like you could take any enemy and make it large just by dropping a mushroom on it, right? You can attach enemies to each other if you wanted to. So like one of the things we saw in the actual championship series was it was a bomb, and with it was a totem pole setup, right? So basically bottom to top, bomb, hammer brother, squid. And it would just walk around, throw hammers until the bomb goes off, and then the squid takes off and starts like flying through the air. And like,
that's evil.
Yeah, so and then like you could like coin blocks is like coin blocks. So well, why don't we have it like poop out a giant turtle or something? Just because, and that's what made it really awesome. And then like you could basically change the theme super easy. So it's like, well, I want to make this a Wii U Mario like theme. You could just click the drop down, and it'll automatically change the textures for every piece that you put in the match.
That's cool. In
the map. So really, really, like, I mean, that along with so many other things that we've seen. Like last week we talked about the what was it, the 3 games that make you want to, so Splatoon, Smash, Mario Kart. And they're
people were tweeting at me, and they were like, well, make that 4 games.
yeah, exactly. God, man, I want to get a Wii U, like, and even Star Fox was pretty fun.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I guess we're at 5 games now really to have on the Wii U.
I wish you could play 3DS games on the Wii U.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because like it uses the same shop and everything, and you can like accidentally buy 3DS games through the shop on your Wii U if you're not paying enough attention, which is unfortunate. But yeah, I mean, I guess PlayStation Plus kind of does the same thing too, though. Like the PlayStation Store is kind of the same. Mm-hmm. You can accidentally buy Vita games.
Now, remember the Game Boy adapter for the Super Nintendo?
Vaguely.
So
I remember that one existed.
Yeah. So there was it was basically, it looked like a Game Genie, right? Where like you have the Game Genie, you put it in, you put the game inside of the Game Genie unit, and that's it. It just acted as a medium to provide the support for the Game Boy Color games, I think is what it was. Anyway, so that thing was pretty sick because at the time there was virtually no emulation on PC. Because we're talking like 93 or something, 94. Yeah. And so to be able to play your Game Boy games on TV, even though it still looked like crap, it was still like cool. And so I feel like it'd be kind of nice if, because there's a lot of cool 3DS games I would totally get, but I'm not gonna buy a 3DS. I'm just not gonna do it. I really wish it had that support for the Wii U, and maybe it's out there actually. I should just look, but I highly doubt it. Are you looking it up?
No. No, I was looking at how to get my card back in Heroes of the Storm. My card back mount in Heroes of the Storm. I got distracted, okay. I got distracted, I'm sorry. But I want to get this mount in Heroes of the Storm. What were we talking about?
Yeah, so Mario Maker, number 1 in terms of like games that I would totally buy, like day one if I had a Wii U.
Well, it's kind of like a similar concept even to like Trials, right? Like the way that Trials has Track Central.
Yeah.
Like Mario Maker, if I'm not mistaken, it has sort of like a Mario Central sort of thing, right? Where you can like share your levels with other people and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see that being like this is where the next like I want to be the Boshi is going to be bred
Oh.
is through this sort of thing where it's
Yeah.
like there's just invisible blocks everywhere and you just got to trial and error your way through this entire thing and sometimes you just die because fuck you, Mario Maker. That's their new ad I just wrote for them.
Fuck you, Mario Maker.
Yeah.
What else? In terms of like the event itself, it was so if you're not familiar with E3, you have two halls, and one hall is primarily console focused. That's the one where you walk in and you have like a gigantic Xbox green wall, and then you have a gigantic blue PlayStation wall, and they face each other.
If you can see it around the gigantic IGN studio that they've put
Yes.
in there. But yes.
That's something that is new this year. Like we've seen them before, where they set up studios on the floor, but like in terms of quantity, and I guess prevalence, like basically position, they were like in your face.
Yeah, and like basically every booth had at least someone in a little soundstage somewhere streaming.
Yeah, you had so right when you walk in, you basically had Razer. And then to the right of that was Squeenix, and to the left of that was IGN. So IGN basically had like boom, like in your face. And it wasn't even a booth where you go in and play games or anything. It was just a couple of clear like plexiglass so you could see that they're streaming. And that's it. So completely non-interactive studios, just there for advertising.
They didn't even need to be at E3 like for what they were doing there. They could have done all of this from their office. They wanted to have a presence at E3 for some reason.
Yep. Squeenix was they were actually live streaming. They had their own live streaming studio there. Twitch was all the way at the very end of the corner. And they had obviously their own gig. Right behind IGN was GameSpot and Kinda Funny. And I think they had two stages, if I recall. And then YouTube Live had their own thing. So it's like everybody had a streaming. Where are the games?
Yeah. Could you get rid of all of this? And I mean, I guess it's cool because then like more people get to see stuff if they're able to, if everybody's able to live stream. But like, if that's what E3 is, if E3 is going to become about, basically where I'm going with this is I'm not really sure what E3 is for anymore. Like, I don't really get, like, in this day and age where everything gets live streamed, like, no one really wants to shut out the online audience, and really they shouldn't. Like, you should be attempting to reach as many people as possible, but obviously the online audience can't play the games. So now you have these situations where you have this tiny little area where people actually get to play your games, so that every single line was like at least 2 hours to get to play anything. And so now the people that are there find themselves wishing they were at home watching the online stream because being actually at E3 is kind of worthless.
Yeah, that is that is so true. Especially now that everything is dedicated to streaming the show. It's like, when is it gonna stop? Like, is it gonna get to the point where it's like they just do the presentations and and then that's pretty much it? Like, everybody's gonna be streaming from the floor UI. It's basically TwitchCon or something, or StreamCon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just kind of disappointing. I just wish that there was more room for some of the actual playable things.
Yeah. Yeah, because like the Oculus, that line was stupid the entire time that I was there.
And they're all the way in the corner.
Yeah, they're all the way back in the corner. The line was ridiculous. They were like taking reservations ahead of time to be able to go through the line, so that like you could sign up ahead of time to get in and use the Oculus because they knew that their lines were going to be bullshit. And like so my boss actually he went up also on Thursday. He was apparently there, standing in line to get into the Oculus. He got there, like he was there standing in line about an hour before the doors even opened. As soon as the doors opened, he hauled ass directly to the Oculus line to try to get into the line. And by the time he got there, they had already closed off the line because there were too many people standing in it. Like,
Yeah.
what? What exactly?
Yeah, the actual floor itself was interesting. Like,
I mean, it was. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'll just just to basically cap off the streaming thing. Like, I think it's great as somebody who is essentially moving towards that. Well, was moving towards that production in that production realm with Sam. Like, that would have been a goal. But now that I see what it does, it's like as a gamer and as somebody who wants to go there and actually play the games and check things out, it just got in the way.
Yeah.
It just totally got in the way. But that being said, there was a lot of cool stuff still. Like, a lot of really cool stuff. You just had to find it.
Yeah, for sure. Like, walking around, like, it was cool to just be there and walk around. Like, I decided basically that I wasn't going to stand in any lines when I got there. I was like, oh, I'm not going to do anything that requires me to stand in a line because I don't care enough about any of this to stand in a line for it. Like, I will play these games eventually, and I kind of don't want my first experience with something like, I don't know, Fallout, for example, if they had it playable. I don't want my first experience with Star Wars Battlefront to be a rushed 10-minute play for a minute, and by the time you figure out exactly what's going on, you are out of time and you have to move.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be able to sit down and actually play the game when I sit down to actually play the game.
Yeah.
So, like, I just decided, no, I'm not going to stand in any lines for anything. I'm just going to walk around and see what I can do that doesn't involve standing in a line. And that was mostly just walking around and looking at stuff. Like, the booths were cool. I got to see the booths, and they were cool. There was some, like, random, bizarre, like, Street Fighter cosplay battle thing happening. I don't know what that was all about, but it was literally just a stage, and there were two people. Yeah, one was dressed up as Chun-Li, and I don't remember the name of the other character, but it was two girls who were just standing up on the stage, and they would pose, and everyone would take a picture, and they would pose, and everyone would take a picture, and it's like, okay, right?
Yeah, that was it. And they were making these like 3-frame GIF type things. Because I saw a couple of them, but yeah, there was a. I was like, is there another Street Fighter game I didn't know about? Okay. I guess they're taking pictures with these people. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a little bit weird. The Bethesda area was pretty cool just because they like actually had a whole bunch of statues and stuff. It was almost like walking through a game themed art gallery, which that was kind of neat. Like they had the Mr. Handy guy, they had the like little Pip-Boy statue and like a vault door. And they had like the Dishonored, I don't remember what it's called, the thing with knives for hands.
Yeah, that was so cool looking.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
I don't know what it's called either, but yeah, it's basically got like this Edward Scissorhands type look.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was that. Yeah, a lot of the stuff. I feel like Fallout like 1 with Bethesda 1 in terms of like the cool. Yeah. And accurate looking statue representations of like their characters in their games.
Yeah.
So
that was
good.
That was the only booth that gave me anything that I gave a shit about, which was just a bunch of pins.
Oh, you got pins?
Yeah, they had like there's the Pip-Boy head and like the Elder Scrolls logo and the like battle something, one of the battle thing, whichever battle thing was Bethesda's, because there were like
Battle Cry.
Battle
Cry.
Yeah,
you're right. Because there's Battlefield, there's Battle Cry, there's
Battlefront,
Battleborn. Yep.
Battle.
Yep. Oh yeah. What else, man? What else?
There were a few things, like Square's booth was set up in a way where there was a few like stations set up for some of their like less top tier games. But because they weren't like, it wasn't Metal Gear Solid or whatever else it was that Square was showing off, Last Guardian or anything like that. There were less people like actually wanting to play them, so I got to poke at Dragon Quest Heroes for a minute, which that game did not grab me in the slightest.
Damn.
It's basically yet another Dynasty Warriors clone.
Oh.
And there's 1,000 of those already. And it's a Dynasty Warriors clone using Dragon Quest characters. And it's already a like franchise that I know next to nothing about. I've never played any of those games, and they don't particularly like. I don't find them terribly attractive. Like, it's just not the style of game that I would be super interested in. So you can play as this character from this game that you've never played is less appealing to me. I'm sure there are people for whom that is completely like, oh my god, I can't believe I get to play as Stiff Nuts, the marijuana dragon.
Yes.
Which reminds me, I watched someone fight a dragon in Final Fantasy for like 10 minutes of standing still. And I was looking at it and going, okay, this person, like, there's no way that this is what the game is actually like. This person must just be doing this horribly wrong. Like, they're just standing still.
That's entirely
and punching
possible.
This dragon. And I'm like, well, it was because it was one of the demo machines. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay, this has to be someone just playing this game wrong. I've never played Final Fantasy 14, but I'm like either version of it. But I'm sure that this was just wrong. But I did get to play a little bit of Mighty Number 9, which is a game that I am excited for, and I remain excited for. It didn't feel quite as tight as I would have liked, but that's possibly because for whatever reason their demo stations were using these like shitty Razer Xbox controllers instead of like an actual controller that you might actually reasonably use. So
wait, for which game?
Mighty Number 9.
Oh, yeah.
The like Mega Man successor.
Yes. Oh, dude, that's actually one of my backers things, and I was gonna start digging to see if I could play it somewhere.
I thought it was hilarious just playing the little bit of it. How like it's not just a spiritual successor; it's literally Mega Man, but they've renamed some things.
Yeah,
and they haven't been particularly creative with the instead of Dr. Light, it's Dr. White. Instead of rock and roll, it's beck and call. Like,
yep. It's it plays and feels a lot like Mega Man Zero, I think. Yeah. Like basically the Super Nintendo versions of the game when they kind of amped everything up and all that. That's kind of what it feels like, but still, like it's basically Mega Man.
Yeah. Mega Man with a lot more dashing, like air dashing. Like, you've always been able, especially in the X series, you've always been able to unlock the air dash, but, like, it's just a basic part of playing the game and also how you finish off enemies.
Yeah. Oh, and X. Did I say Zero? Yeah, X. Yes. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Zero was the Game Boy Advance.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Those were ridiculously good games, by the way. Some seriously hard platformers, the Mega Man Zero games.
Oh.
They're so good.
I still have my Advance lying around, actually.
Yeah,
put that thing to good use because that thing was really cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. God, what else?
Yeah, what else did we miss?
Huh?
So what else did we miss?
Well, there was the parties.
Oh yeah, I didn't go to any of those, but tell me, I saw you like tweet a picture of like the wargaming party where they had brought out a tank or something.
Dude, these guys can't not bring a tank. Like, the day they don't bring a tank to a party is the day everyone's like, what's going on at wargaming? Like, they have set a bar so incredibly high. Everywhere, every convention I go to, there's, I mean, for the most part, yeah, I feel like there's always the expectation that there's going to be a wargaming party. And it's just hilarious. The wargaming party took place like Thursday night, I think. Maybe what is today? Friday? No, so it
would have been Wednesday. Because I remember I was gonna go up on Wednesday, and then I was super sad that I missed like everything.
Yeah. Yeah, they had this like Thursday. Crazy like lasers, like laser beam themed event. The whole thing was like, it's funny because you're outside and they have like this classic tank and these guys basically sitting there like dressed up in some old time uniforms and drinking out of their little canteen cups and everything, and they had a spotlight with a straight up classic generator. Now I have actually worked on like military generators, and the ones that I worked on, what, 10, 15 years ago or whatever, were more advanced than this thing. But they had it running a spotlight, and it was sitting out in front, and it was just basically going to town, and they were just, so you could, and then it's like, then you go inside, and it's like the future. It's it's not what you expect. So wargaming parties are always a blast because typically the alcohol is free.
That's good news.
Right when you go in, there's a bunch of girls wearing wearing stuff that shows a lot of skin, but their skin was actually covered in like kind of like this really cool basically the kind of Futuro style lines and circuitry or whatever, and
like
all
Tron
over.
style.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, and it was just, but it was highly stylized, and it was like all over their whatever exposed skin they had. So it looked really cool. Like you basically do like a double take. It's like oh what, oh okay, that's kind of cool. But they're handing out like drinks. Like right when you walk in, they're handing out drinks, like champagne. Like it's a celebration. And they had like guards with like flags, like bannermen basically, that were like blocking the dance floor, and when you go to walk onto the dance floor, they pull them up so you can walk.
Right on.
Yeah, so they really, really go like to town on themes.
I'm sad that I missed this. It sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah. And did I mention free drinks? I should bring that up again.
Yeah, free drinks are important.
Free drinks are super important.
Maybe it's a good thing that I missed it, because I would have been driving home.
Yeah. I would let you crash my place, dude. So yeah, every party I don't know if there are parties that didn't have like an open bar, because every party I went to had one. But I also didn't do a lot of. So typically when you go to E3 or go to any convention, you go for the parties. And not necessarily because you want to go and get slammed and super wasted. This is mainly for, I know you know this, but this is for like the folks at home.
Yeah. It's an expensive way to get wasted if that's all you want to do.
Yeah, exactly. Or it can be, totally. So,
well, especially if you're flying yourself out.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Like if you're going to go to BlizzCon for the parties so that you can get drunk, and you like buy a BlizzCon ticket and plane tickets and everything, you have spent about $500 more than you needed to, when you could have just bought a bottle of whiskey.
Yep. Yeah. So you go to basically for the social element. You go to like talk to people and whatever, and that's basically the way it works. And as you start going to these things, like I've been to basically almost every gaming, like when gaming is the primary function of the convention, I've pretty much been there for the past like couple of years now. And so you end up like seeing the people that you've seen before, like Stan Press and like all these guys, and you're just like, oh hey, what's going on? You catch up and everything, and that's what you go for. And these things end up turning into really solid like business contacts, and then that's how you essentially grow with whatever it is that you're doing in the game industry. So yeah, the first night I actually went to the Curse Party. I have a couple friends over there. Despite, the Zam Curse rivalry thing, if you want to call it that. And went over there, and these guys, man, like they're on the rooftop of the Standard, like this hotel, and they had all kinds of swag. Like all kinds of swag. They had sunglasses that had the Curse logo on the side, right? And I wasn't gonna take one because I own a pair of sunglasses, but my buddy, he's like, dude, they're polarized. He's like, I wanted to ask about the budget after I saw they were polarized, but then I figured I just probably should not.
Yeah,
and just let it happen.
Seriously, it's like, oh, they're Ray-Bans. What?
Yeah, they had like Curse branded cigars and all that stuff, and it was just
crazy.
It was a great party. There's Margaret Crow, I think is her last name. She's one of the video people for Curse. She was there. I saw Jesse Pridemore. She was there. Like it just basically, it's like a bunch of people that you see like around the community. And then the next night, the plan was to go to the Azubu party and PC Gamer. There were a couple others, but those are the ones that I knew people at. So I'm out. We're grabbing some lunch at the sushi joint, and my buddy, he's at the Azubu party. He's like, "Hey, where are you at? You're a dick," because I wasn't there. And I was like, "Yeah, I'm eating." He's like, I was like, "Hey, where's the party at again?" And he's like, it's on the roof of this place. And so the sushi joint I'm at is like on the 11th floor or something, and it's open, right? So it's like you're basically eating sushi and you're overlooking the city and everything. And so I look out over the balcony, and I could see the word Azubu like on the next building over on the roof on the same landing as the curse party the night before. I basically went to like just this one spot so many times.
Nice.
And the Azubu party was out of control, man. Like it was the best party at E3, man.
Nice.
Wargaming was great, but Wargaming, the problem I had with with Wargaming and I think Riot sometimes and a couple other places, whenever they throw parties, and I think Twitch does this too, you can't hear shit.
Yeah.
Anything. Yeah, it's just music. You can't talk to anybody, and that's, we're there.
You can try, but you're gonna run out of voice in about 3 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. The Azubu party was just out of control, and they were nailing it with branding.
Nice.
They were walking around and handing out Azubu branded sweaters. And they wouldn't even give it to you unless you put it on, right?
Nice.
And so, because I walk in, right, and I'm looking around, I'm like, holy shit, there's a lot of Zubu people here. But like everyone was there, man. Like Cloud9 was there. They were, I think, a co-sponsor of the event. So saw a bunch of them, and Reginald is?
Yeah.
So Reginald was there too.
Yeah, former TSM, I think.
Yep, he was. And he he fell in the pool at the end of the night.
Nice.
He fell in the pool. He fell. The worst thing that could happen in this day and age is falling into a pool because of all of the electronics that you own, right?
Yeah. It's like terrifying. That's why I moved to SoCal so I could get away from moisture. Not really, but yeah.
It's like one of those things you want to like kind of pre-program yourself with. Like, if I ever feel like I'm going to fall into the pool, reach in my pocket and throw my phone out. Doesn't matter where it lands, as long as it's not in the pool.
Yeah, it's better for it to like potentially get smashed than guaranteed be soaked all the way through. Like you see someone at a party fall in a pool, you're like, oh, that's like $600 worth of damage.
Yep. Yeah, he I mean, the thing is, like, the pool, it's totally not his fault. Like, the pool is taking up like such a huge space on one side of the roof, and it's right next to the bar.
Yeah.
Like you get a drink and you turn around, you take like 5 steps, boom, you're in there, and like in those 5 steps, there's like 3 layers of people.
Yeah, and seriously, like, these parties keep happening at places with pools, which means like no one's ever allowed to go in the pool. So there's like this just giant mass of wasted space that could be filled with people, or like just be more space so that everybody isn't packed tightly together trying their best not to fall into the pool.
Yep. But yeah, it was a really, I mean, it was a great party. Like there's the people I ran into were like, I ran to like Malgain. You know him?
Oh, yeah.
Right? Yeah. I ran to Malgain.
Wow.
And he's doing great.
Nice.
And God, so many people, like a bunch of like ex-Zam people. And God, like, yeah, it's just, there's so like people from Nvidia, like, I mean, it's just like it's really the whole thing with so E3 is great, the floor is awesome, but like when you and I are walking around, we knocked out the whole thing and got the gist in like what, an hour?
Yeah, if that. And that was even like we went and stopped by the like Blizzard press booth, which was literally just there so that people who had press inquiries could go and ask our PR coordinator what a Heroes of the Storm is.
What is the Heroes of the exactly.
Well, like we walked in there and I just knew everybody that was there already. I was just there to say hi, basically. We stole some of their water.
Yeah, we did. We totally stole some of the water. It's funny, I asked you, I was like, do you know these guys? And he's like, yeah, he sits right across from me.
Yeah, exactly. Like one of them, his name is Josh Whitkey, and he, like, my cube and his cube share a wall. So, and there's...
Hey, Josh.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and it doesn't stop there, is the thing. 2 rows down is Josh Pletsky, who is one of our media artists. He's doing stuff, I think he does stuff mostly for Diablo, and I think he's been working on some of the Overwatch stuff that's come out recently. Like, when I say media artists, for people who are maybe not aware, I mean, like, they're the sort of people that make the images that go in blogs and tweets and stuff. Social media artists, I guess, would be like the full title. And then down 2 rows from, I'm saying so two rows the other way is Josh RZ, who used to be the Heroes of the Storm community manager, and now he's like the social media manager for the department. So there's 4 Joshes all within earshot. And so, and what's worse, like, we're all really bad about it too. So like, like Josh Whitkey on the other side of the cube from me will be talking about how he was talking to Josh earlier, and I'll be sitting there at my desk talking to Josh RZ, and he means he was talking to Pletsky, and like, there's just this like mess of Joshes. And it's a good thing that esports isn't in our same area, because they have like 100 Joshes also.
The number of Joshes, that's how you...
It's too damn high. It's too damn high.
So you can walk around and get the gist in like a couple hours. And given that like 25% of the booths are streaming, so you can catch those like online. Honestly, if you're trying to break into this industry and you want to meet people, I said the same thing for GDC. But for E3, you could do identical. Get a hotel room. Don't worry about getting a ticket if you can't afford it. You don't have to go to the showroom floor.
Yeah.
Go to the JW Marriott and hang out in the lobby.
Yeah.
And then go to the parties.
Yeah, totally. Like, there's a lot of people that will, like, as soon as they find out when BlizzCon is, they will get their hotel and their flight, and they say, even if I don't get a ticket, I'm gonna go out there and I'll just hang out in the Hilton lobby.
Yep.
Because that's where everyone is.
Yep.
Like, there was one year where for whatever reason, like, I had left BlizzCon and gone to the Hilton lobby. I think I was meeting up with Ryan, actually. And I had gone to the Hilton lobby, and we were just sitting there at the bar, and up walks Chris Metzen, and he sits down at the bar, like, by himself, and just starts, like, he orders a drink, because he's just like, I want to be someplace else right now. I don't want to be in the convention center at the moment. And so I was like, hey, that's Chris Metzen. Oh my god! And, like, went over and talked to him for a little bit. But yeah, like, that's totally accurate. Like, if you want to make connections in the industry, like, don't worry about going to actual conventions. Nothing gets done at actual conventions. Like, literally nothing actually gets done at actual conventions. It's all in the parties and stuff afterwards. And get yourself some business cards, and make sure they look like serious business cards. Don't give someone a business card that is like Comic Sans that you made in MS Paint 10 minutes before showing up, and you print it out on like those, like, it's inkjet paper business cards, and you just ran it through your inkjet printer and you had to cut them out or whatever. No, get some actual business cards. They're not that expensive. Spend the money on that instead of a ticket to whatever convention it is. And when you talk to somebody and you have a decent conversation with them about something, then give them a business. Don't just throw your business card at people, but like, talk to them first, have a conversation, make an impression, and then when they're like, yeah, no, it was great talking to you, you're like, yeah, you should hit me up sometime. Blah, blah, business card. That's how that shit works.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty easy to get into. So most parties have a VIP line and then also an invite only line. Honestly, the parties that I've described, Curse was invite only, Azubu was invite only, and Wargaming was invite only. But there are tons of parties, and people who work in the industry, we don't look at a party and say, well, is it VIP only? Because otherwise I won't go. We will say, is it open bar? Because that will have an effect on whether we go. We will put that into account. But not every VIP only party is open bar, so that's not really, doesn't really hold a lot of weight. Yeah. So if you're trying to break into the industry with whatever it is that you're doing, definitely with the business cards. Alcohol is a fantastic social lubricant when used in moderation. And go wait in line and just get in.
Don't get yourself hammered and accidentally hit on Felicia Day. Just saying. Don't do that.
I'm sure she gets that enough.
I'm just saying this for a friend.
Oh, man.
This guy that I know did that once, and he feels really bad about it still.
Oh, man.
It was me. I was the one.
I thought it was somebody else. I don't know why.
Oh yeah, no, that was totally me. I got way. It was the year that like the first year that like we were there with Game Breaker doing the like WoW Insider Game Breaker party at the Annabella.
Yeah. Oh, I remember
this. And I had like 2 hours of sleep. Got on a plane, came out, was already like passing out when I got there, and then people were like shoving drinks in my face, and like I had an energy drink, and that was the only reason I was still awake, and I was just completely trashed and hammered and not really able to make any sense of the world. And I was like asking Felicia Day to come hang out, and then like a bunch of really scary looking people were like, no, she doesn't want to, you should just leave. And I was like, oh god, okay.
But how things have changed though. While you and I are hanging out, someone comes sneak up behind you and
yeah. So we're standing there just chatting in front of the Square booth, and all of a sudden I just feel this hand on the back of my head, and I was like,
and it wasn't me.
Yeah, it wasn't you. I could see both of your hands, and I was like, that's Michelle Morrow. And I turned around and it was Michelle Morrow. I was like, oh, hey, how's it going? Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Yeah, so see, man, you built up some cred. You worked yourself up the chain a little bit.
Yeah.
The ladder, and next time you see Felicia Day, well,
I'll just hide,
now, actually, but yeah.
Honestly, I'll just hide. I'll be like, oh god. I hope she doesn't remember me.
Yeah. You're that creepy drunk guy. It's like, no, come on. I was
no. Oh god, I'm so sorry. Yeah. So before we wrap this up, because we've already gone longer than we intended to, because this is a special. So
yes, and because I am really tired.
Yeah, but I did want to make a brief announcement.
Oh.
While I have the opportunity, I have a microphone basically. Okay. I wanted to make a brief announcement. So Blizzard has this program that they call like a side projects program, which is basically if you work for Blizzard, but you want to make some sort of something that's gaming related on the side, like not as part of Blizzard.
Right.
Then you submit it as a side project. And I submitted one of those a while ago, and it got approved. So I'm making a tabletop game. Hooray!
What?
Yeah.
When did this happen?
Like a week or so ago. I got the approval back, and I've
Wait, so
basically
the official announcement for your tabletop game is happening right now on Don't Get Your Hopes Up.
yes.
I didn't know. I didn't know this was coming. I'm
I-
just as excited and shocked as everybody listening right now.
I was gonna say something before we started, but then we just started. We were like, think back, internet, to how this podcast started.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm making it's gonna be like a sort of a fusion between, and people are gonna say there's like 400 games like this already, which I'm aware of. I'm largely doing it for the hell of it.
But this one is mine.
Yeah, exactly. This one is mine. There are many like it, but this one is mine. But it's gonna be kind of a fusion between like a card deck building game and like a pen and paper RPG.
Okay.
The ultimate goal being that, at least at the moment, I have a lot of work to do to make it into something that actually resembles an actual game. The ultimate goal being that it's something where you can either play it against a like randomly selected deck, or if you have someone who wants to be like the DM, you can play it and he can just sort of DM things and you can play your cards and like cast spells and fight monsters and stuff.
Right.
That way. So it's intended to be very super flexible like that. I've got some pretty cool ideas for it. I'm hoping to be able to share some more concrete details in the next few weeks. But yeah,
Exciting.
yeah, I'm excited. I've been kind of wanting to make a tabletop game for a long time, and finally one day I was just like, screw it, I'm just going to submit something to the side projects community and see what happens, and they approved it. So now I kind of feel like I have to.
So how does funding work for this?
So at the moment there is no funding. At the moment it's just me working on it in my spare time.
Right.
I may at some point, just depending on how the project is going, start up a Kickstarter or something to get the funding together to like produce the thing and, you know, print out the cards, put them in boxes, send them to people, like maybe contract some artists or something to make some nice art for the cards and such. We'll have to see where it ends up. At the moment, I'm mostly just trying to make a game that kind of works.
Mm-hmm.
Worst case scenario, I end up just releasing a PDF somewhere that people can have printed out. Yeah.
Wow, man.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that.
So, okay, well, that pretty much ends
I don't even have a name for it. I haven't named it yet because I want to flesh out enough of it before I actually give it a name, so that I don't name it something and then like later I'm like, I named it Ball Fighter, but now it doesn't have anything to do with balls or
now
fighting.
It's all cubes. No.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, is there anything that anybody at home can do to help?
Just stay tuned.
Get your hopes up, maybe? I don't know.
You can have a little bit.
Okay.
Get your hopes up a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's good.
Yeah. I can officially say I'm a game designer now. It's exciting.
Well, you haven't designed it yet. Come on.
I've designed parts of it.
No, you got to. Well, I guess that counts.
Yeah. You have no idea how many games I've designed that never released.
I really
But
don't. Now I'm intrigued.
this one I want to release.
All right.
Well,
Well, congratulations. I look forward to hearing more about this. I'm sure everybody else does as well.
Yeah.
Are you gonna have like a company brand, like just like hair or something, like a silhouette of the hair?
Yeah.
Like probably. A company brand logo or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to figure out all of this.
That's a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah, there's a lot to figure out, but screw it, I'll figure it out as it happens.
Well, there you go. That is the biggest surprise of E3, 2015, right there.
Yeah,
and it happened right here exclusively on Don't Get Your Hopes Up.
Yes.
Thank you very much, everybody, for listening, and stay tuned for more.
Yes. On whatever it is that I'm doing.
Ball Fighter.
Ball Fighter.